Yes, sir. Solidus-T. Back. I'm back. You know, some say I'm unhinged. Nah, I'm not unhinged. I'm just... what could I say? I wouldn't say I'm unhinged. I would say I'm just being honest. I'll just say that. But no, man, I want to do a follow-up to a video I did not too long ago. Because I got some mail. I'm not going to say I got some hate mail. But, excuse me. I ain't going to say I got some hate mail, but I guess you could say I got close to it. But I got a lot of pushback from Mexicans, from Spanish people. They tripping off me right now. Not tripping like that, but a lot of Mexicans is mad at me for a video I did where I just told the story about what a Mexican woman that I had the pleasure of being intimate with, that I was having sex with. This is what she said. I didn't say this shit. I'm not on the black versus brown shit. I don't really got a problem like that. If I get into it with somebody, it's mostly a self-defense type situation. I'm not really a bully. I mean, I speak my mind, don't get it fucked up. If you wrong, but I'm not really on no bullying type shit. And I don't, in terms of Mexicans, I don't got no problem with no Mexicans, but a lot of Mexicans was really hot about what I said, about that story I told. Now, I told that story, you know, this is the follow up on that, about what the Mexican woman told me. You dig? And she's telling me this because it's what she wants to tell me. Because, you know, we know women like to talk, right? So when you're dealing with a woman, there's going to come a time where a bitch is going to want to talk and run her mouth and say what's on her mind. That happened to be what was on her mind when we talked about it, you know? And that came up in our conversations, you know? And she told about how Mexican men, that's where all that that's where all that brown Mexican Spanish people disliking black people shit comes from. It doesn't come out of thin air. There's a reason why the whole world is not necessarily kind to Mexican people, but yet Mexicans only really push back on black people. You know what I'm saying? And what made me tell that story was the Fat Joe situation, because Fat Joe recently made some comments, as I said. For those that somewhat missed that video I did, let me recap it real quick. I told the story about how I was sleeping with a Mexican woman and we were talking about racial issues between blacks and Mexicans, Hispanics, and she went into detail about how that shit stems from sex. Mexican men feel they can't measure up to a black man sexually. That's why they don't like when a black man's dating a Mexican woman, even though there's nothing wrong with being a black man dating a Mexican woman or sleeping with a Mexican woman. If it's consensual, there's no problem. She's of age, there's no problem. But they don't like that, and she said that's where it stems from. And so I decided to tell that story to basically try to get an understanding of why would a Spanish person just somewhat get on some anti-black shit. But like I said, the whole world is not really kind to Mexicans like that, but you don't really hear Mexicans fighting against them, but they fighting against us. You know what I mean? A lot of black people don't even want to do that black versus brown shit, like the shit them niggas be doing out in California. Niggas be fighting Mexicans. Niggas don't even want to participate in shit like that. Niggas just ain't pushovers, and niggas stand up for themselves. So Mexicans having you fucked up, so you out there fighting them and shit, but niggas don't even want to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas ain't really trying to be doing that. I ain't trying to be out here fighting no Mexicans. I ain't trying to be fighting nobody for that matter. It's only if somebody brings drama to me and I gotta defend myself. I'm a man at the end of the day. I ain't bending over for nobody. You know, so that's why I'm fighting. But am I looking for that? No. So that's really how that shit start, because niggas don't really want to be doing that shit. And then, so that's why I told that story. And that's the true story. It's not cap. Like, I actually had a Mexican chick that I was fucking tell me that. Mexican bitch. She kept it real. The reason why I believe that shit is because in the pushback I got from Mexicans, some Mexicans were saying that they have reasons why they don't like black people. Calling cap on it, because the reasons they broke down why they don't like black people were problems in the black community that don't affect Mexican people. You dig? It's not like they were explaining shit that impacts Mexicans that black people do. It was none of that. Black people are having problems in the black community doesn't impact Mexicans. Mexicans are very family oriented. Family is loyalty and family is a lifestyle to them. They don't really be around black folks like that. So when they were saying that all black folks don't take care of their kids, they leave the women, none of those issues negatively affect Mexicans. So that's why I don't believe that when they said that. That's why I actually, as ridiculous as it sounds, I actually believe what she told me. Like, and then, like I said, I've heard other people say that too. You know about how white guys be doing that shit. How a white girl won't date a black guy. Black guy. How a white guy won't date a black woman if he finds out she fucked a black guy before. Y'all know who the Olympic skier is? Lindsey Vonn, blonde. She's actually from Minnesota, where I'm from, but she's from St. Paul. I'm from Minneapolis. She actually did an interview where she said, because she used to date Tiger Woods. They broke up, and then after they broke up, she messed around with like 5 different black dudes. And so she got her swirl on, and she's white. This is a straight white girl. She said she received a lot of hate for that. And it's kind of hard to date white men now because of that. She didn't say that, but I'm just saying, like, she said that she received a lot of hate. They were calling her a mud shark. She was getting a lot of hate mail for that, all because she was fucking a black dude. Now, it ain't the way back in the day where they'll lynch your black ass for fucking a white girl. They're not doing that anymore. So there's nothing wrong with modern times fucking with a white girl, but they made a big deal out of it, you know. So, and the Mexican woman was telling me that Mexican men are kind of the same way. They do the same shit. Like, because remember, I told you that conversation I had, that was years ago. And back then, Eva Longoria and Jessica Alba were really popular back then. And she said, can you imagine if they both had like black boyfriends or black husbands? They're saying that the dude that Jessica Alba is married to is black. I'm talking about black, where your mom and dad is black and you look like a black man. I'm not talking about a black person that could pass for a white person. And same with Eva Longoria. They talking about a black dude from France, Tony Parker, NBA legend. He was actually one of my favorite players coming up. Shout out to Tony Parker. One of the best players to play for the San Antonio Spurs. Shout out to TP. Like, he's a Frenchman. I mean, he's black, but he's from French. I'm talking about a black American man from a black family. She was like, can you imagine if they were with dudes like that? The Mexican community would not, the Hispanic community wouldn't support them if they were to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay. And she's saying that it stems from Mexican men feeling they can't measure up to black men sexually, which is, you know, I got to keep it real, gay shit to me. What straight man would give a fuck about that? But nonetheless, Mexican men are pushing back. They're Mexican people. They're like, I got some pushback. Mexicans was tripping off that shit. They made it seem like I was trying to be on some anti-Mexican shit. I'm not on no anti-Mexican shit. I actually like Mexican women. So I'm not on no anti-Mexican shit. I'll shake a Mexican man's hand. I don't got no hate or no ill will towards Mexicans. They trying to get money like everybody else. I ain't mad at them. I feel some kind of way I feel a big way about the immigration thing, but that's a whole different issue. Yeah, we could talk about that some other time. I don't, like, I'll just say I'm against that, but we can talk about that some other time. But as far as like Mexican Americans, I ain't got no smoke. It's all good. One of my favorite boxers is a Mexican. I love Canelo. Canelo, my dude, he Mexican. He can't fuck with Floyd, but that's my guy. I love Canelo. So it ain't no anti-Mexican. It's just, I was just telling a story about what the Mexican chick told me. You know, she said Mexican men be on some hating shit when they see a nigga with a Mexican chick. You know, they disown their women when they find out she fucked a black dude before. She put that shit on blast. I'm like, oh, damn. A lot of white guys be doing that. She said Mexican men are the same way. I just didn't appreciate Mexicans coming in my section like that, talking about I'm trying to promote anti-Hispanic and shit like that. I wasn't feeling that right there, because that's not what the intent was. I was just trying to talk about something that might explain what the Fat Joe thing hinges off of, because that shit Fat Joe said, first of all, you got a Spanish dude that's calling a black person a nigga more than an actual black person would. That's kind of a red flag. And secondly, I ain't never heard Fat Joe talk shit like that about nobody who's not black. But you'll talk shit like that about black people. I found that very sus. And then thirdly, Fat Joe carries himself like a black person even though he's not black. And he's been doing it for decades, but would say some shit like that. So that whole situation was just a red flag and was sus to me. So I decided to put something out there that I experienced with a Mexican person. And maybe that's linked to that, who knows? So that's all that was, no more, no less. It ain't no fuck Mexicans or I hate Mexicans. No, I'm not even like that. Like I said, I like Mexican women. I'm open to dating another Mexican woman. So that should tell you right there that I might not be anti-Mexican if I'm willing to fuck a Mexican or be with a Mexican bitch. You know, so that needs to be understood, but it ain't nothing like that. And like I said, none of the problems that the Mexicans that said they don't like black people for, none of those problems are problems that negatively impact the Mexican community, that they said the reason why they don't like black people. So that right there ain't gonna fly. So I think that was just cap right there. Definitely cap. You know what I'm saying? But Mexicans, they was tripping off that shit though. So I wanted to just respond to that. No anti-Mexican over here. I'm anti-behavior. I'm not anti-race. The reason why I'm always shitting on these black bitches is because of their behavior, not because she's a black woman. I've said that a million fucking times. That's why I get so frustrated when a black person gets up here and says, why you dogging? I told you black motherfuckers over and over again, the issue is behavior, not because she's black. They still play that bullshit and say, I'm being racist towards my own people, dumb shit like that. I just told you motherfuckers, I'm not saying this because they're black. I'm saying this shit because of the toxic, dysfunctional behavior that black women routinely display 24/7. I'm not fucking with that. But, you know, whatever with black people. But nah, back to the Mexicans. Nah, man, it's cool. Like I said, we ain't on no black versus brown shit. Just had to put that out there. You know, that's all. But I will be honest, though. Not trying to offend y'all, but I will be honest. I do believe what she told me, because I never seen a Mexican person go in on somebody who's not black. Y'all only talk shit about black people. I will be honest. Not trying to start nothing, but I will be honest. Y'all don't be coming at nobody that's not black. I ain't never seen, unless y'all know something I don't know, I ain't never seen a Mexican go in on a white person. But I've seen y'all go in on black people when y'all don't even need to be doing that shit. If anything, y'all should be embracing black people. Black people fuck with y'all. You know how many black fans Canelo got? Yeah. Like, I'm sure Canelo's not like that. He seemed like a guy, like Canelo, the great Mexican, he's not a Mexican American, he's from Mexico. Great Mexican boxer, one of the all-time best, pound for pound. He strike me as a guy that got class. I doubt he's like that. Yeah, so I don't see that. And a lot of other Mexicans, they seem like that too. I'm talking about just what the responses I got. But it's all good. I just don't like some of the shit that was said. I thought I probably should ignore it, but I decided, you know, let me just respond to that shit. So here I am doing the response. But no, it ain't like that. It's just a little factual story that I told about what a Mexican woman told me. And the reason why I believe it is because I've heard stuff similar to that during the years. Like, I heard white men were like that, and then she told me that. And I do know that Mexican men, they don't like seeing a black man with a Mexican woman. They will be really hot when they see that. They really shouldn't care. It's none of their business. It's what she's doing. But they do be tripping off that, you know. And then I heard stories about how a lot of Mexicans, they be telling their kids to not deal with black people and shit when they grow up. Bullshit like that. You know, dumb shit like that. Some white people be doing that shit too. You know, shit like that. That's unfortunate. Because, you know, racism is a learned behavior. Nobody's born racist. You learn that shit. You know what I mean? So, but that's unfortunate. But nah, it's cool. I'm not on no black versus brown shit. I just want to put that out there. Because Mexicans, they go hard at black people though. Especially about boxing. Shit. Man, do not talk about when Floyd beat Canelo with a Mexican, bruh. They will make every excuse in the book for why he lost that fight. They will argue with you all day and all night about that shit. You'll never hear the end of it, bruh. He lost to Floyd Mayweather because Floyd Mayweather is a better fighter. Always has been, always will be. Canelo will never be better than Floyd. If Floyd was active right now and still young, he would beat Canelo again. It is what it is. Mexicans, bruh, they will not let that shit slide, bruh. The truth is on YouTube. You can literally go watch the fight on YouTube. You'll see Floyd is much better boxer than Canelo. Canelo's good, but Floyd is better. That is a fact. But Mexicans, they will fight you to the death arguing about that shit. Please don't bring up the Canelo and Floyd fight with no Mexican boxing fans. Just leave that shit alone. Mexicans, they weren't even that mad when, back in 2022, some quick boxing talk. Canelo fought a guy named Dmitry Bivol, Russian guy. And he beat Canelo pretty bad like Floyd did. He didn't bruise and batter Canelo, but he outboxed him pretty bad like Floyd did. Mexicans weren't even really that mad about that shit because it wasn't a black guy that beat him. You see what I'm saying? They took it as, oh, okay, it is what it is. But they weren't really mad about that shit. For those that are boxing fans and sports fans that know what I'm talking about, notice they didn't really trip off that too much. But the Floyd fight was like 13 years ago, bro. They will literally argue with you to death over that shit. Bro, yes. Because they're just so salty that a black man was the first one to beat Canelo. You dig? Instead of charging that shit to the game and saying, hey, he lost to the better man. It is what it is. They mad as fuck. Ain't nobody black mad that David Benavidez, he whooping everybody's ass. He whooping black niggas' ass. He whooping white motherfuckers' ass. He beating other Mexicans' ass. He whooping everybody's ass. Ain't nobody black mad about that shit. It is what it is. Y'all know who Demetrius Andrade is? He black, great fighter. Benavidez beat the shit out of that nigga. You dig? Ain't nobody black mad about that shit. It is what it is. Benavidez ain't no joke. Shit. I don't see nobody beating him. He got a tough fight coming up with that Morrell dude. That's a 50-50 fight. But besides that, I don't see nobody beating him. Whether you a black man, a white dude, a Mexican, I don't see nobody beating that dude. And he's trying to fight Canelo. And Canelo fans are saying that they're talking shit about Benavidez because of that. So it is what it is. So Mexicans, yeah, they tripping off. They serious about that boxing shit and that Floyd shit. They don't like that shit. You mention that shit, nigga, you gonna be in for a long ass argument. That shit probably never end. You probably gonna have to walk away from that shit. That shit ain't gonna end. For real, do not bring that shit up. So, but nah, that's all it is. Everything is cool. I just want to respond to that shit. Shout out to the Mexicans. I ain't mad at y'all. Y'all was saying a lot of bullshit and y'all was saying a lot of incorrect shit, but I ain't gonna trip like that too much. A lot of fuck shit y'all was saying, but let that shit slide. Because I'm mainly focused on talking about the bullshit my people do and how my black community is torn apart because of bad behavior from black people. That's my main focus, but I will tap into other stuff too. So I don't want to leave that out. So yeah, that's all I want. I just wanted to say that. I ain't not too much into that. But nah, that's all it was. Everything is cool. You know. Shout out to the good, hard-working black people that's doing the right thing. Stay out of trouble. Do the right thing. Don't be a cutthroat nigga. Don't date a ratchet hood black bitch. Definitely don't do that. Don't date a ratchet bitch, period, no matter what race she is. But definitely don't date no black bitch. Because she's going to be on that ratchet shit. So don't do that. But other than that, I'm going to let y'all go. Y'all take it easy. Stay warm. You know, yeah, so That's all it is. It's all good. I'll get back to y'all.